Your ability to break down a complex problem into a simple problem is one of the most important skills that you can develop as a software engineer. And it's one of those things that's the fastest that you learn, the fastest that you evolve that skill, the fastest you'll grow from junior to senior. And what does that mean? It means that when you get a complex problem to address, you and your team, you have an approach, a mindset that will look into the problem and find the different pieces that are part of it. So let's draw. Imagine the following. You are asked to build a payment gateway. That is something quite complex. But you can be quite naive and think that, okay, payment gateway, that's easy. Okay. It's just a big thing that I need to build. It will take some time, but not enough. So you can start working on this thing, you and your team, with some expectations like this is an API that needs to collect money, but you go and you try to see as you progress what you need to do. Your ability to understand that this is a huge problem, but it doesn't need to be a nightmare is what will make the difference. So if you look into the payment gateway and you start thinking and you start decomposing the problem into several different things, like, okay, I know that I need to have an API. I know that idempotency is important for my requests. I know that I need a gateway. I know that I need monitoring or telemetry. I know that I need authentication, fraud detection. And as you can see, the list keeps going. It goes on and on. So we could keep drawing here boxes. There's many things involved. But once you start doing this, and you can do this several levels deep, so you can still go deeper on each one of those boxes, you start decomposing a complex problem into a simpler problem, into a small problem, something that you can address quite easily. And the beauty of it, and this that I will say comes with experience, and is when you see that experience in fact matters, is that eventually you will start thinking about these problems in different ways. So you will look into, for example, the API. Okay, I know how to build APIs. That's not a risk for me. Okay. Idempotency is something that I have done in the past, so I have an idea on how to do it. Okay, there's something here that I'm not sure. For example, fraud detection is a question mark for me. I need to investigate and I need to deep dive on this topic because it's something that I've never done and I don't know how to do it. But okay, but what about authentication? Yes, I have been using OAuth and I think it's what we need here. JWT tokens, things like that. But regarding, for example, monitoring, we have been doing monitoring in other parts of our systems in a different way, but we want to take this opportunity to go into something like open telemetry. But that also imposes a risk because I've never done that. So let's bring a question mark here as well. So now I'm looking to a huge problem and I can clearly see that okay, some things will not be as hard as others. So unless I'm on these red boxes here, I might be quite comfortable doing things. So that means that for the red boxes, I need to have a strategy for them. And what does that mean? It means that for all this project, when I'm trying to conceive with the way that I will approach it, if I need to estimate, if I need to plan the work, I need to first think about how will I be addressing those red boxes. So that means taking those out and building something like a prototype, having a proof of concepts where you try to understand what is inside of that box, of that question mark. Try to quickly build a prototype on how that thing would work. Try to investigate if you can use any technology out there to reduce the risk that is involved there. This is an important skill. It's something that once you master, you will see that even a complex problem is manageable. you will see that even something that you have never done is doable. Okay? You now know the risk. Now you know the different parts that are involved in this project. Now you know how to address them. And also you know how to spot the problems and how to quickly prototype them and understand how we'll be building them. Because for the other things, the things that you already know, that you have an idea on how you'll be doing, you can always rely on previous knowledge. You can always rely on your experience to have an idea on how to approach it, to have an idea on how to start, to have an idea on how to address a problem if that problem comes up. So this is an extremely important skill. Look into a complex problem that can be scary and understanding how can you decompose and break down that complex problem into small problems. Once you do that for a huge system and you find the different parts of that system, it's easier to pick one of those and try to understand the different things that are involved. Now I have monitoring. I don't know how to do it. It's my first time. So I start a new prototype, a new exploration for monitoring, and I want to check OpenTelemetry. So once I finish this prototype, I will have a clear idea that for that OpenTelemetry, I mean that I will be doing things like setting up the hotel collector, for example. I will know that I need to do things like having a backend for my telemetry. I will have things like tracing, metrics, and I keep drilling down, trying to find more and more things, more granular things, to a point that the problem is quite easy, is trivial. This also is a great way to fight procrastination, to be honest. So what do you say? Do you agree with me? I would love to hear in the comments. And in meanwhile, I think you'll like to watch this video right here. And I will see you in the next one.